Hi, I'm Sam Sorbo for the Accidental Homeschooler. So I want to give you a little bit of an update on our debate club. We had our second debate night, and I had over twice the number of students. The place was packed, and we had a couple of fun things that we did. Mainly, I get the kids up on their feet and giving impromptu speeches. So one thing that I do with the kids is I go over the various parts of a speech that they want to hit. So exordium, thesis, three proofs, and a conclusion. I don't want to make it too complicated. They're just trying. They're just doing their best, right? But to give them a little bit of an outline of the goal of what we're aiming at, and then I also talk a little bit about the speaker's triangle. So one thing that was kind of funny when we did it this time is one of my speakers got up there and he wanted to do the speaker's triangle so desperately that he started just walking in circles for like the entire speech for a minute and a half. The kids don't get to 3 minutes. It's a really tough thing to do. In fact, I'm toying with the idea of having the adults jump up there also. It depends on how we do. I'm thinking that we're gonna split the club into two different clubs, because this time I split into two different rooms, and we did a little debate room, and we did a little impromptu room, and there are plenty of different speech. There are types of speeches. There are platform speeches. There are performance type of speeches. Interpretive type speeches and stuff like that, and so and there's of course apologetics and Mars Hill and all of those, and so I want to be able to serve the kids and find out what lights them up, what really gets them going. Right now, it seems to be debate. They want to argue. And I have so many kids who they don't care what side they're arguing. They just want to argue. They just want to get up there and debate it. It's very exciting. And so the idea is to take that energy, because that energy exists. I think that's just the natural way, especially for young teens, it's their nature. They want to, they test, they prod, they poke. And so the idea is to harness it, but in such a way that it becomes a useful tool for them. I was talking with a parent the other day, and she said that her son is so bossy, that he bosses his younger siblings around. You know, he's an oldest child, and he just bosses people around. And I said, you know, that is a fabulous attribute if it's controlled, because then you have a leader. You have somebody who's not afraid to take charge, and but it has to be under control. So, you know, the Bible talks about meekness. The meek shall inherit the earth, and we don't really have a good understanding of that word these days. We confuse or conflate meek with weak. And that's not the case. Meek is power under control. Power under control. And so we want our children to be powerful, and we want that power to be controlled. And one way to do it is to make them debaters. One of the things that I talk about in our club is winning, because debate is about going for the win. You know, if your opponent leaves an opening, and we see this in public discourse. If there's an opening, the other side will just go for the jugular. They'll just try to cut right in and get the win, and that's what we're trying to do. So that's my update for our speech club. I hope perhaps you've been inspired to start one. It's really not that hard. It just takes a little bit of energy. I've had one parent volunteer now. I've had two parents volunteer. One of them came up to me and said, I can't do the speech and debate stuff, but I'm really good at administration. Do you need anybody for administration? And I'm like, yes, That's so awesome, because the last thing I want to be doing is trying to coordinate email addresses and make sure that everybody gets information and stuff. That is not at all interesting to me. So she's going to do my emails. And then I did have another parent who volunteered, and she ran the impromptu room for me when I took the kids over to the other side to do debate. The church has been fantastic. They're just offering us the facilities once a week, and we'll keep that going until that doesn't work anymore. And they're just being flexible. We're being flexible. It's a beautiful thing. So give it some thought. Maybe this is something that you can do even in your own home. Just invite some kids over and start them, get them up on their feet making speeches. I will say that I think that classical conversations lends itself, or how do I put this? That the kids that I'm working with, by and large, not all of them, but most of them are classical conversations students, and classical conversations does make a point of getting the kids speaking, doing little speeches in front of their classes, and then eventually doing debate in class. They do mock trial in class as part of the curriculum, and that's what got me started. I would never have thought to look into this for my kids. It wouldn't have even occurred to me. What do I know? I never did it growing up, and it's kind of scary and all that. So I credit Classical Conversations for that. But there are plenty of other places that would also encourage this. I'm sure Veritas encourages it, and Patrick Henry, of course, is big on forensics and that kind of thing. All right, so keep tuning back in. Thanks for checking in with me. And hey, be sure to share this with your friends, especially parents who are struggling a little bit, maybe having a little bit of a difficult time with all the new changes that they have with their kids' lives. Appreciate it. Thanks. God bless.